Hello there and welcome back. In the previous lesson, we learned about the if statement and the things it can do. So today we're going to learn about the else if statement. With the else if statement, we can do many things. Maybe not many, but it's very useful. So the else if statement goes between the if and the else. So in the if, we come to this condition, and if it's true, then this line of code will be executed. If the condition is not true, then it means that everything else is true, and then we print this code. But what if we want to tell the program to check if something is true, and if this one is not true, then check another condition, and then check another condition, and only then check all the other possibilities and do this code. So this is what actually it does. So I have a little program here. I just made this system out print that says, please enter your salary. It's better to do it this way. It's more clear. Here I created a new integer. I call it salary. And I created a new scanner. And I said that the next int that the program will scan will go into the scanner and it will become salary. So this is just a shortified way to write all of those things. The same way I could write int salary and then say new scanner system int, and then I can say that salary equals to s next int. I can do 3 separate lines, or I can do it this way. So there's no really other benefit. The code won't work in a different way or in a better way, but this is a good way to practice to do the code, because a shorter code is a code with less possibilities that we will just get lost or some kind of error will happen and we won't know where it happened. So we always want to make the code as short as possible. Of course, we don't give up on any other things or features using this, because it's the same way. We just made it in one line and we stick it together. So now the user will put the salary inside on the screen, and then the program will do a calculation. It will check. If the salary is less than 5,000, then it will print out, you are very poor, do you need a loan? If the value inside salary is over 5,000 and he is smaller than 10,000, so here we're checking two conditions together. We're checking if the salary is bigger than 5,000, but we also want to check if the salary is still less than 10,000. So this is the AND operator. We have a few more operators that can connect two conditions together. What it actually says, it says that this condition needs to be true and this condition needs to be true, and only if both of them are true, then it means that all of this condition is true. And then this code will print out. If only one of them is true but the other one is false, then it won't execute it. And it will just go to the else. So if this happens, if this is true, then print this. If another condition that we want to add it, if this is true, then print this. And if this is not true and this is not true, then every other possibility will be this. So this is the else if. We can actually do it even 2 times or 3 times or how many as we want. What happened here? Oh yeah. So, and here we can say if the salary is smaller than 20,000 and things like that, and we can check many things and we can use as many else if that we want, but at the end we will do the else because it will cover every other possibility that we didn't think about. Let's just get rid of this. Yeah. So now it checks if the salary is bigger than 5,000 and smaller than 10,000. And if not, then this will, let's just run the program. run. So here, please enter your salary. So if I'll write like 4,000, it will say you are very poor. Do you need a loan? Because this is true. So this will print it. Now if I run it again, and I'll say, let's say 7,000, then you are like most of us. So this line will print because it's bigger than 5,000 and it's smaller than 10,000. So it qualifies to be here. But if I'll say, for say 20,000, then it says, okay, it's not smaller than 5,000. It's not bigger than 5,000 and smaller than 10,000. So it must be something else. And that's why it says you rich, you are rich. Can you give me a loan? But now let's check something else. Let's say the user gets exactly 5,000. Then it says you are rich. Can you give me a loan? So what happened here? It's over 5,000, but it's actually 5,000. So it's not this one because this condition is checking if it's over 5,000, but it's not over. It's exactly 5,000. It's also not smaller than 5,000. So it goes here because that's the only place it can go. And this is because we didn't say if it's exactly 5,000, didn't do something. So this way we can say if, let's say salary, and put the equal here. So now it says if salary is bigger and equals 5,000 or smaller than 10. Actually, it will be better to just put it here. No, the other side. Yeah. And now we check if it's smaller or equals to 5,000. It will be this because 5,000 is not enough. And if it's bigger, then even if it would be 5,001, it will already go here. So now we dealt with that. But here we have some kind of, you see this yellow marker thing? It says that something is not so good here. So it says salary bigger than 5,000 is always true. So it tells us you actually don't need to write this line because it's always true. Why it's always true? Because if we say here we check if salary is smaller than 5,000. So if it's not smaller than 5,000, then it must be bigger than 5,000. So anyway, if it's not qualified to be here, it will be over than 5,000 because that's just the logic. If it's smaller than 5,000, it will be here. If it's over than 5,000, then we don't need to check again if it's over 5,000 because it already is. So we can just delete this and this, but we can check if it's smaller than 10,000. So the program will say, okay, it's not smaller than 5,000, so it's bigger than 5,000, and let's see just if it's smaller than 10,000. And then it will bring everything else. We can do the same thing and say if it's smaller than 20,000. What now? Oh yeah. Another one of these. So now we check if it's okay. If it's smaller, then here we check if it's smaller than 20,000, but bigger than 10,000. Because if it was not qualified to enter here, so it means that it's bigger than 10,000. Then it comes here. So it means if it's bigger than 10,000 but smaller than 20,000. Okay, I hope you got it. You can just rewind and because it's pretty simple the logic behind it. You just need to understand it. So we don't need to do things double. You saw before it worked, but it wasn't ideal because like I said, we should make the program as short as possible. And this I don't need this. Yeah. This is not true. Still. Yeah, everything is fine. So this is the else if statement. You can practice with it. You can see all the things we can do with it, but it's actually like an additional condition. If this condition, if one condition is not enough for us and we want to check a few other things, then we can just use the else if. If we don't need it, if we want to check one condition and if it's not true, then all the rest will be executed in the else line. So another thing I want to show you is that we can use the if and the else statement and the else if statement inside one another. So we can put an if statement inside of an if statement. And we can say, okay, if salary is smaller or equals to 5,000, then print this line. But we can take this thing and put it here. And say if salary is smaller than 1,000. And here we could say, no, let's just put this one here and this one. You are broke. So now it will go into the first condition and it will say, okay, if it's smaller than 5,000, then print this line, but also check, actually, let's not do this way. Let's just take this and add another else inside. Okay, and say, if the salary is smaller than 5,000 or equals, then go inside and do another if check. And now check if it's smaller than 1,000. And if it is, then you're totally broke. But if not, then print this. You're very poor. Do you need a loan? So we can play with it as much as we want. We can put else and if statement into one another, and we can do it multiple times to check a condition and then to check another condition inside of this condition. So we can play with it as much as we want. And this is the basic logic and the way we use the if and the else and the else if statements. We can use it with all kinds of codes and all kinds of conditions, and can get even very complicated to understand when we read it the first time. But if you understand the way it works, that there's a condition, if it's true, then this, if not, then the else. If we don't have the else if, then we just have the else, and that's it. So this is the lesson about the if, the else, and the else if statements. Oh, what a mess. And remember, we always want to make things a little more shorter. We want to make as shorter as it can be. So there's all kinds of techniques to just get the elements and the statements all together. And that's it for today. It was I hope I didn't rush the lesson. It's just a thing you need to understand because it works the same way as the if statement. It's just another condition. So you can re-watch the episode if you didn't understand anything. You can ask me anything you want in the comments and I will answer you definitely. And in the next lesson we will start a new topic and our journey into Java will continue. So thank you for watching. Subscribe if you like to see the lessons as soon as they come out, and hit the like button. Thank you so much. Goodbye.